ever thought about creating a life list packed full of adventure, inspirational experiences, and unforgettable journeys? Particularly if you're a woman over 50, now is the time to do it, to make all of those travel dreams a reality. I'm Sue from Sue Where Why What, and I'm here to share 10 inspirational life list ideas for you, along with personal stories of what happened to me when I undertook these journeys. If you like this and want to build your own life list, then click below where I share my 201 travel inspirational ideas for your bucket list. And also, if you want to do this, but you genuinely have no idea where to start, then click to find out more about my Find Your Way program, where I distill 30 years of independent travel across over 80 countries and 6 continents, having made the mistakes with lots of tips, tricks and advice, and I hold your hand and I take you through the entire process. So this life list I'm creating for you today, you can genuinely use. So why a bucket list or a life list? A bucket list is things to do before you die, which at the time for me was a little bit too close to home. I needed a list that was going to bring me back to life. And that's what my life list was for me. It gave me a path and a roadmap that I followed for 5 years when I was in my mid-40s. And that is what I want for you too. If you like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and let me know which of these 10 you're going to put first on your list. Okay, so let's go. Number 1 on the list is stay in an ice hotel. Now, I know what you're thinking. Historically, it is quite a romantic thing to do. I did it as a solo traveler. The experience of staying overnight in what is effectively a box of ice, but a beautifully carved piece of art box of ice, was a truly magical experience. So here I am, snug as a bug, in my little beautiful boudoir. Good night, we'll see how I sleep. I stayed in the Hotel de Glace in Quebec in Canada, and it genuinely was one of the most unforgettable experiences of my life. Walking through the entirety of the ice hotel first thing in the morning with nobody else around was a really magical experience. Number 2 on my list is climbing Mount Kilimanjaro. I did this to celebrate my 50th birthday, and climbing the highest peak of Africa is one of the most memorable but physical and mental challenges I have ever had in my life. However, reaching the summit, watching the sunrise over Tanzania was one of the most empowering experiences of my life. We've just made it to the top of the Barranco Wall. And the summit getting ever closer. Hello. How are you feeling, Bridget?
Actually good.
Yeah, I was struggling a little bit then, I have to say. If you want to do this too, then my top tip is to choose one of the longer routes. The longer you take to conquer the mountain, the least likely you are to suffer from what can be devastating effects of altitude sickness. Number 3 on my list is take a hot air balloon ride. Might not be able to see much. And there we go. And we're about to take off. I did this over the magical landscapes of Cappadocia in Turkey, and it was an amazing experience. I was there with my niece, and it was just a beautiful thing to share. The landscapes are spectacular, and my top tip is a lot of them go up at sunrise. And part of the joy is being in the balloon itself, and the other part is seeing all of these balloons taking off at the same time. I think it's over 140 balloons go up for sunrise every morning in Cappadocia. And it's also the best time to get photos for the light and to just see this magical show. And even if you don't go up in a hot air balloon, then you can get up for sunrise, stay in a cave hotel in Cappadocia, and you can watch the whole thing happen in front of you. It is a stunning experience. Number 4. How about volunteering overseas? There are so many opportunities nowadays to volunteer in schools or to build essential facilities for people who really need them and communities. I chose to volunteer with a wildlife sanctuary in Namibia. And again, one of the most unforgettable experiences of my life. I was bitten by a meerkat. I woke up on a platform next to lions. I had baboons catapulting themselves off my head, all of which might not sound appealing to you, but where else can you say you have done those things? So I did my volunteering in Namibia. My top tip on this is to make sure you fully research reputable organisations before you go, and they will make sure that your skills are aligned with the work that you want to do. And that will mean that you get the most out of the experience, but also the communities or the organisation that you're volunteering with will make the most of what you have to offer too.
What's that all over your face? Woo, woo.
Next is take a cookery class. Many of us love to taste the food. For me, it's one of the most joyful experiences of travel, is tasting different things and learning how to make them in the country where you'll be eating them is even more of a joy. So I've got the kit on and I think we're nearly ready to go. I took a cookery class in Hoi An in Vietnam, and it was absolutely fantastic. So we went on a tour around the market beforehand. So we were looking at how they select the food that we're going to cook, what we were going to cook, the exploration between all the various different rice pancakes that are available, and different ones go with different dishes. But it was such a fantastic experience. My top tip with this is look for an organization where you can go in a small group. So the bigger the group, the less of a personal experience it's going to be.
That's what I just made. Even if I say it myself, that was delicious.
Next on the list, number 6, is to visit the Amazon rainforest. Wow, what an experience. This was on my list and I ended up visiting the Amazon in Peru. What a magical experience. Exploring the Amazon allows you to discover unparalleled biodiversity.
We're beautiful.
We are beautiful in our own way.
And connect with nature in its purest form. You can see things and the sizes of things like you will never witness anywhere else in the world. My top tip is to make sure you go with a responsible eco tour guide to make sure that your trip is fully sustainable and as sustainable as possible, and goes to benefit the communities that you might be visiting along the way. Next, number 7, and this is in Peru and hiking the Inca Trail to Machu Picchu. What an amazing experience that is. 4 days on the Inca Trail through the history of ancient civilizations is fascinating enough. It's a physical challenge, but with the most beautiful, unbelievable, mind-blowing prize at the end of it. One of the most memorable moments for me was sitting at the Sun Gate, where at that time you sit at the Sun Gate watching the sun rise and put Machu Picchu itself into the sun from the shade, which is an amazing thing to experience in itself. But even more special because the only people who are up there at the Sun Gate are those of us who have hiked the Inca Trail to get there. So it really, really does feel like the prize at the end of a long and challenging but wholly beautiful journey. My top tip for this one is make sure that you book when you want to do the Inca Trail, book early. Permits are limited, so book with a reputable company and book well ahead in advance. Number 8 is attend a yoga retreat anywhere. Yoga is a great way of finding peace, tranquility, and kind of reconnecting mind and body and realizing as well what your body is capable of. I've attended a number of yoga retreats, a few of them in Cuba, one in the Dominican Republic, and one in Iceland. And all of them blew my mind and gave me this really deep sense of rejuvenation and lust for life after I'd been, which was amazing. My top tip is choose one with yoga, but also choose one with other things that spark your interest too. It might be a destination that sparks your interest. On the yoga retreat I went to in Cuba, we learned to make mojitos and we learned to dance salsa. And we went on a hike and watched the sunrise over the beautiful area of Viñales while we were doing yoga. That brought me to tears, I have to say. Number 9 is visit the Galápagos Islands. Wow, the Galápagos Islands. Unbelievable. Discover the unique wildlife and the pristine, beautiful landscapes that inspired Darwin to come up with all of his amazing theories. You see wildlife and get close to wildlife in a way that you will never anywhere else in the world. So I loved my time in the Galapagos Islands. In particular, my memories of snorkeling with turtles, having one bump into me. A penguin literally did swim into me. I have no idea why or how, but that happened. Snorkeling with sea lions, marine iguanas, which are the only iguanas that actually swim, is an unbelievable and unforgettable experience.
So we're on Bartholomew Island. It is like walking on Mars.
My top tip, I've got 2 of them. Firstly, try and go in shoulder season when it's a little bit less busy. And secondly, Galapagos is an expensive trip. And I would say it's a once in a lifetime trip. Go on a smaller boat and go to the outer islands, because that's where you really get to experience you as humans being some of the very few people who ever visit that part of the world. And the animals don't even see you as anything different. They don't notice you as being dangerous, which makes everything so much more magical. And finally, number 10 is the magical land of Bolivia in South America. I went there, I'll be honest, because I loved the idea of the bowler hats that all the ladies wear. But also the Salida de Uyuni, which is the largest expanse of salt flats anywhere in the world, is mind-blowing when you sit, stand, drive across that landscape. It's amazing. You can get the most fun photos because it really messes with perspective. But most of all, it's just the most unbelievable landscape. Stunning. And if you can go when it's a little bit wet, you can get some fantastic photos and images of the reflections. It literally is like being on another planet. But not only do you have the salt flats in Bolivia, you have the people and the witches, the Bolivian witches. You can go and get your fortunes told. You can visit the markets. There is so much more. The landscapes, the volcanoes. Bolivia is one of those countries that I visited that left an indelible mark on me. And I would encourage everyone to go and visit. And it really does have to be seen to be believed. My top tip with Bolivia is pack layers. Depending on the altitude and depending on the time of year, the temperatures can vary quite considerably. So make sure you pack plenty of layers, plenty of warm layers too, but have the opportunity to strip them back when it does get a little bit warmer or when you get a little bit lower. So there you have it, my top 10 ideas for creating a life of unforgettable journeys in the future. I hope you like them. I hope something in here has inspired you. If you want to know more, if you want to start your own life list, then check the link, like I said, for 201 inspirational travel bucket list ideas at the bottom of this video. But also, if you've been inspired by everything that I've said, but really have no clue where to start, don't panic at all. I'm here to help you. Investigate my Find Your Way program and get in touch if you have any questions at all. I am here with all of my experience to take your hand and lead you to an unforgettable journey. So please let me know in the comments which one of these ideas you like the best and which one is going to be first on your list. And very much thank you for joining me, and happy travels.